Brother and lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're going to be diving into the Arsenal transfer news. And of course, we only have 4 days to the end of the transfer window. Arsenal still want to sign 2 more players, a central midfielder, and the priority, which is a winger. Currently, according to Freddie Paxton, we will try to close those 2 deals. Either we will get one done or both of them over the line. In the comment section, I'm going to ask you this. Do you think Arsenal can get 2 more players through the window? Nicolas Pepe has left the club. That means we will need to bring in a new winger. And Youri Tielemans has always been on our radar as a priority central midfielder. Can we get those 2 deals done? Can we see the transfer window end in a very, very interesting way? That is the question I want you to answer me in the question, in the comment section below. But also, if we had to sign one player of Youri Pinho, Marco Asensio, Pedro Neto, and Youri Tielemans, which one player would you sign on all of those 4? Which one player would you go for before the window closes? We don't have a lot of time. You can see the likes of Manchester United trying to push the window as much as they can. They're trying to do as much business as much as they can. So if Arsenal are going to do that in the same way, we will have to do that this week. It's going to be a very difficult week because we have Aston Villa on Wednesday and then we have Man United on Sunday. So and then in the coming week we have Europa League coming up. So it's hectic. It's going to be very, very hectic. Lots of fixtures in there, lots of football, lots of preparation, and lots of transfers. As we hope the likes of Hector Bellerin, the likes of Ainsley, Maitland-Niles will also find other clubs to settle for. Hit the like button for me. Let's get this video to 800 likes. Subscribe to the podcast as well. We're very close to 58,000 subscribers. Now, let's start off with Pedro Neto. One player that I think Arsenal will try to sign in the next 48 hours is Pedro Neto. He's been highlighted by The Athletic and David Ornstein as one of as actually the priority of the remaining days of the window. Now, according to David Ornstein, Arsenal have highlighted Pedro Neto as the main winger that will replace Nicolas Pepe, who has already left the club and joined Nice on a season-long loan deal. Look, Mikel has already said there is more quality coming in. He wants more quality and he wants more players. This one is going to be a very difficult one, but I think it is one that is still very, very doable. Now, we understand, and I understand personally, that Wolves do have a couple of players playing in those wide areas. Goncalo Guedes from Valencia joined them this summer. You also have the likes of Huang still there. You have the likes of Daniel Perdens still there as well. So I think they will not be reluctant to let him go because they do not have a replacement. They will only be reluctant to let him go because they feel selling under pressure as the window closes might not be the right option, might not be the best option for them. And I don't disagree with that because the player has a long contract until 2027. Those are 5 years left on his contract. They will feel if we keep him, next summer we can get in excess of £50 million. This summer, Arsenal offering them £35 million. I think it's still quite low given the valuation Wolves have and also the valuation on the transfer market website. It is still very, very low. But the fact that they brought in Matheus Nunes for 50 million and Goncalo Guedes for 77 million, they will need to balance the books. And that is the only hope as an Arsenal fan. That is what I'm hoping for. That they look into their books and think we need to balance our books. We've spent 77 million. Of course, the FA, these governing bodies are going to ask, where is this money coming from? We need to balance the books. Let's sell Pedro Neto. So it's one to keep our eyes on. We saw it yesterday in the Fulham game. Bukayo Saka needs some time to rest. You need another player, another game changer. Edin Ketia is not going to do it all the time. You need someone. You need a special player. And for me, Pedro Neto is that kind of guy. I won't be very surprised if he comes into Arsenal and starts ahead of Gabriel Martinelli and also starts ahead of Bukayo Saka, because we've seen it with Mikel. He wants to build his own team. The likes of Gabriel Martinelli have done very well. I think Martinelli has really started off the season very well, but I don't think Mikel Arteta will be shy to drop Gabriel Martinelli and play Pedro Neto if Pedro Neto is going to provide that kind of quality that Mikel Arteta is anticipating. And of course, you have to remember that in all these signings, Mikel has not actually put a foot wrong. All the signings that he splashed a lot of money on, they're actually doing very, very well. So Pedro Neto, want to keep an eyes on. We've been in talks with Jorge Mendes. Jorge Mendes has been in talks with Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolves will sell for the right price. They're asking for 50 million. Arsenal are very, very wary and concerned about about FFP, not AFP, but FFP roles. So we need to spend cautiously. And that is why I'm very skeptical about the idea of Arsenal signing in two other players. We want them. They are, it has always been the plan: a winger, an attacking midfielder, a central midfielder, and also a left back. It was the plan right from the start. The question is, can we do all that business while we can still run away, on the positive side of FFP? So Pedro Neto, like I said, want to keep our eyes on. Interesting player, interesting young talent. Wolves will sell at the right price. Arsenal want to offer only £35 million. The next one is Youri Tielemans. We've talked about Youri Tielemans all summer, right from February. We've talked about him. We've talked to him. We have already agreed personal terms with the player. The question is, why are Arsenal not sending in that bid? Are we still waiting for the right moment? Are we still waiting for the right time? Now, of course, we know that currently Leicester City have sold Fofana, and they have also lost Kasper Michael. Whether they're going to agree to lose another important player, another key part of their midfield, that remains to be seen. But this is what I'm gonna say with Youri Tielemans. One to keep our eyes on widely more than any other player. In my blood, in there, I still have it that he will move. He's gonna be one of the deadline day moves that will happen. Jurgen Klopp has talked about signing a new midfielder. Tottenham Hotspur are thinking about a new attacking midfielder, and all these clubs could just come in, come in on the last minute and try to sign him. Look, honestly, if Liverpool come in for him, he won't reject them. They are very attractive. They have a decent manager, one of the best managers in the league. They have Champions football. They are title contenders, and they have more hopes of winning any silverware. And the project, because look, Youri Tielemans said, you want to join a club that has a clear project. I think the project at Liverpool is beyond clear. It is beyond doubt. It is absolutely fascinating. But why I think, as an Arsenal fan, you need to keep your eye on this one. Youri Tielemans is a player that has told you Leicester City, I'm not staying this year, and I'm not, going to extend my stay with you. So if anything should happen, if anything is going to happen, Youri Tielemans' 100% priority is to leave Leicester City. If Arsenal waste that opportunity, just like we wasted the one for Lucas Paqueta to West Ham, then it will be beyond my knowledge. It will be absolutely beyond my knowledge. But also, I think Mikel Arteta has seen it, that when you play Granit Xhaka in those advanced areas, you need a backup. You need someone who's going to give you a little bit better, a little bit more than Granit Xhaka. I think Xhaka will stay. Having made him one of the vice captains at at Arsenal Football Club just guarantees that he will stay. But Youri Tielemans, we need one. We need that one. Look, if we can get that one done, I will forgive all the others, like a backup for Thomas Partey, because that one will come back to haunt us, and also another winger. I think with wingers, you can deal with Emil Smith-Rowe. You can have, Saka play 38 games in a campaign. You have Martinelli play 38 games in a campaign. Smith-Rowe coming in here and there. Eddie Nketiah and Gabriel Jesus swapping positions to the wings. It can work out. But with central midfielder, you need to sign one. We need to sign one. And for me, Youri Tielemans is the guy. Number 3, I've gone with Marco Asensio. There is a lot of talk of Marco Asensio coming to the Premier League. Currently, there are not so many clubs linked with Marco Asensio, and there are also not very many clubs linked with a new winger at the moment. Now, recently, he has changed his agency. he changed his agent to George Mendes, to the agency that is owned by George Mendes. And of course, we know George Mendes is one of those super agents. So I think the idea with Marco Asensio here is, if I'm staying at Real Madrid, you're guaranteeing me minutes. And I think Carlo Ancelotti is not going to do that. With Vinicius now and the likes of Vinicius, Benzema, and the likes of Rodrigo kind of ahead of him, I think Marco Asensio should be considering his future. He's been there at Madrid. In my opinion, with Gareth Bale leaving, there is some little pocket of space for him to shine. But could it be the year for Eden Hazard? There is a question there. Could this be the year for Eden Hazard? And if Eden Hazard is going to be part of that front three, of course, then Marco Asensio has to find time and playing time elsewhere. If he wants to play in the World Cup for Spain, he has to play elsewhere. Otherwise, the likes of Ansu Fati are absolutely going to be ahead of him. So, in my opinion, here, lads, I will go with Marco Asensio, because I think Arsenal need a winger, and we are looking for a winger in the region of 25 to 35 million pounds. Madrid have lost Casemiro, so they might be skeptical about losing another player this summer. But if you offered them the right amount of money, I don't think Asensio is a player that they will feel is untouchable. He is touchable for the right price, and I think Mikel knows that. Even when Pedro Neto doesn't come around, and you get a player like Marco Asensio, yes, he doesn't have that vibe that Pedro Neto brings, Premier League experience, and all with that. But you just think, and you can't help to wonder, if he comes into this Arsenal side, can he be that kind of rejuvenated Alexis Sanchez? Has the goals in his legs, has the speed in his legs, very good at bending in those spectacular ones as well. I think it's a very, very good talent, by the way. Can we get it done? We can, only if we are focused. My problem with the winger situation is we are not focused yet. We want Pedro Neto, we want Asensio, and we want Youri Pino. But I think Madrid might be a hard one to crack, because they've lost a very important player in Casemiro. But still, they can sell it. That is the same situation with Pedro Neto. Lastly is Youri Pino. Well, we understand that Arsenal already made inquiries about Youri Pino. Villarreal seem reluctant to keep him. I think this is the only advantage to this deal. You know my opinion about Youri Pino. I just don't like the guy. I don't like him as a player. I don't feel Arsenal should be trying to sign him this summer. I just don't see him as a signing that we should try to do this summer. I look at him as a player that needs more time at Villarreal. 3 more years. 2 more years. Develop better, establish himself in European football, and just establish himself in the ways of mature football. But if it should come that Arsenal have no option but Youri Pino at the end of the transfer window on deadline day, I would definitely take him. He's young, so probably he's going to be sharing minutes with Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli. But look, he just doesn't fulfill the picture of what we wanted to do this summer. We wanted to add quality. I think it comes with the quality, but experience as well, right? Look, games like Fulham, where we were very, very close to dropping points, you need the more experienced heads. You need those players that are just feel they know what to do in such moments. Youri Pino, not one of them. Villarreal asking for 50 million pounds, 50 million euros. I think it's a little bit too much for him. And that is the first reason as to why I disagree with the signing. I still feel if in any way, shape or form, if Villarreal will agree to get 25 million euros, we can do that deal. We should do that deal. Because one, for the future, Youri Pino, Spaniard that is very, very interesting, right? But for that price, 50 million euros, no. Pedro Neto is available for that. Marco Asensio is available for that. But what I'm saying that Youri Pino is one to keep our eyes on. Villarreal have said they will really sell because the club demand. I mean, it was Unai Emery that came out and said the club demands them some degree of balance, right? So they want to keep all their players intact, but then they have a duty to the club. So they need to sell some players they need to let go of some. And that's why I feel Youri is one player to keep an eye on. Definitely. If I know he's going to be like a fullback position. If Arsenal fail in any way, shape or form to get their priority, Pedro Neto, they will try to find an easier option, and that is Youri. So those are my 4 players that are, those are my 4 transfer deals to watch out for as the window closes. But also, I want to say this: I won't be very surprised if Arsenal sign more than 1 player. I won't be very, very surprised. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and also subscribe to my podcasts. 90 more podcasts on YouTube. Cossy Arsenal podcast on YouTube as well. TikTok is Cossy11. Instagram, Cossy_19. Twitter, Cossy Arsenal. I'll speak to you very, very soon.